Hello everyone, we are less than a week away from the end of summer in my part of the world, and so I'm going to soak up some vitamin D while hopefully imparting some knowledge that you can soak into your business. This week's video is a follow-up to last week where we talked about taking on a project to potentially reduce your support calls up to 15%, but we wanted to understand, how do you evaluate that project? What would a 15% reduction in support calls really mean to you? Well, to understand that, you must understand your burdened labor rate. Quick disclaimer, I'm not an accountant, and you should work with your accountant on this process. You can make progress without shooting towards perfection. These type of concepts in this work, I find so many people are stymied by the perfect is the enemy of good concept, which is most attributed to our buddy Voltaire. It's a much longer phrase that this actually comes from, but it's all in French, and I will not even attempt that as to potentially offend anyone who has any concept of the French language. Perfection stops progress. I've had to say this many times to myself in the last year. It is really important to understand that getting closer to a number when you're starting with 0 is much better than having no concept of that number at all. If you look at what it takes to calculate your burden rate, it's everything from the direct labor cost to the payroll taxes, to the deductions that your employees pay, to the employee benefits, to any perks or benefits that you have on top of that. All of that gets added together and you figure all of this out. However, if what you have in front of you is the rate you pay your employees and your benefit rate, that is a good start. So I would say take a look at your payroll. Understand what it looks like at the end, figure that out by an employee cost, take your benefit rate, and maybe just use those two to start on this process. If you have no understanding right now and you are not applying any rate, then you are well off accuracy. If you start to apply an average rate to this process, pulling together the knowledge you do have, well, if you forget some expenses, you are not going to find out that if you were not profitable, you are now profitable all of a sudden after you added expenses. It's math. It doesn't lie. When you have more burdened rate than you expected, profitability does not go up. So if you start to look at certain tasks and projects and you are not profitable and you haven't even fully accounted for all your expenses, you have a problem. Now, do you need to go and figure out how unprofitable you are? Yes, you do need to understand that so that you can make the right calculations and adjustments. However, to get started on something, getting close is better than no idea at all. So remember, perfect is the enemy of good. Reach for progress, not perfection.